Hello, I'm your Japanese coach Cello, and on this video we will be looking at the script and explanation of some of the questions from the Choukai listening test, the Nihongo no Ryoku Shiken. So if you are planning to take the JLPT N5 test, this might be of great use for you. Okay, so we will be looking at the example question in question number 1, 2, and 3 of Mondai ni. Alright, so let's get into it. Hi, first let's look at the pictures. Okay, try to scan it. This is a very simple one. And have in mind that when you listen to the explanation, you should be able to catch the scenario and most importantly, the question, right? So let's listen to it and try to choose the right answer. So let's go.
例、
駅で、駅の人と女の人が話しています。女の人のカバンはどれですか？
忘れたのはどんなカバンですか？
黒いカバンで、
黒いカバンですね。これですか？
いえ、もっと丸くてポケットがないカバンなんですけど。
じゃあ、これですか？
あ、それです。ありがとうございました。女の人のカバンはどれですか？
はい、じゃあ let's look into the script. First of all, we have 駅で駅の人と女の人が話しています。So 駅で right means at the station. So we already know that this conversation is taking place at a train station, right? And then we have two people. So one of them is the eki no hito, right? The person from the station, meaning the clerk that works at the station, and ona no hito, a woman, right? Hanashite imasu, they're talking. And then the question that we need to keep in mind is 女の人のカバンはどれですか？女の人 woman, カバン bag. No here is that belongs to, right? So the woman's bag. Wa どれですか？どれですか means which one. So basically is which of the bags belongs to the woman, right? 女の人のカバンはどれですか? And then we have 4 bags. So again, this is a very quick and easy scanning to do because we have 4 bags and basically they have different colors and different shapes, right? So let's start. First of all, we start the conversation, the dialogue with the man, who is the person that works at the station, eki no hito, saying, 忘れたのはどんなカバンですか? So I would like to point out here that this is the lost and found in Japan, which by the way, Japan is amazing. Something that I miss a lot about living in Japan is that literally you can lose your wallet full of money on a train and chances are you're gonna get it back, which it would never happen in most of the countries in the world. So I think that's quite amazing. But silly things like umbrellas and um, it might be something that it doesn't really have a monetary value, but it means something to you, and it's really comforting to know that you will go to the lost and found and chances are you're gonna find it, right? But anyway, back on track here. I would just want to point out that we are starting the conversation here. So this conversation would actually start when the woman goes to the lost and found and says, すみません、カバンなくしたんですけど, right? Like, I'm sorry, I lost my bag, but I'm looking for it. So that would be what is missing here, which might actually be confusing. I'm not sure why they jump into this right away. I guess it's because part of the test is to see if you're able to get the eki de eki no hito to ona no hito ga hanashiteiru situation explanation, right? But okay, let's focus, Cello. 忘れたのはどんなカバンですか? So the clerk is asking, 忘れたのは the thing that you forgot どんなカバンですか? What kind of bag is it? Right? So he's trying to, obviously they have tons of bags, so he's trying to get some details so he can look for the right one, right? So she says, 黒いカバンで, right? So 黒い means black, カバンis bag, で means basically, and in this case, before she continues explaining, he actually jumps in. But usually we use de when you were connecting phrases that are, like connected, like, in this case, you are giving several details, right? But before she continues giving more details besides the color, the man says, 黒いカバンですね。これですか? Maybe he had one right next to him that was black. So he says, oh, 黒いカバンですね。これですか? Like, oh, black one, is this one? Right? And then she says, いいえ, no. もっと丸くて, moto is more. Marukute comes from marui, which means round shape. So this already gives you a hint of the pictures that are wrong. Number 3 would be out, right? Marukute. And why we were using marukute and not marui here is because, again, just like the de above is connecting, because we're still giving more examples, okay? So marukute, ポケットがない doesn't have a pocket. ポケットがない. So that means that number 1 is out. So now we are left with number 2 and number 4. ポケットがないカバンなんですけど, right? And here なんですけど is like, it's like this, but, it's just she's saying, wow, it's like this and this. It doesn't really translate well in English. But なんですけど is just basically she's explaining herself. And then he says, meaning like he's looking for it, right? Let me see, kind of. じゃあ, okay, so これですか? Is it this one? Right? So after scanning and looking and grabbing, oh, じゃあ, is it this one? これですか? And then she says, あ、それです. Oh, that's it. That's the one. それです. ありがとうございました. So she says basically, thank you very much. But yeah, that means that the correct answer is number 2, right? So marukute, round and does not have a pocket. All right?
例、
駅で、駅の人と女の人が話しています。女の人のカバンはどれですか?
忘れたのはどんなカバンですか?
黒いカバンで、
黒いカバンですね。これですか?
いえ、もっと丸くてポケットがないカバンなんですけど。
じゃあ、これですか?
あ、それです。ありがとうございました。女の人のカバンはどれですか?
So let's move to the next one. はい、じゃあ、number 1, before we listen, have a quick scan of the picture and then try to get the scenario and the question, right? So let's go.
1番、
男の人と女の人が話しています。猫はどこにいますか?
あ、机の下に猫がいますね。
あれ、猫じゃないんです。犬なんですよ。
へえ、小さいですね。
猫もいますよ。ほら、あそこ。椅子の横で寝ています。猫はどこにいますか?
はい。So which one would you choose? Number 1, 2, 3, or 4? Let's have a look at the script and explanation. So first, the scenario was 男の人と女の人が話しています. Simple one, right? Man, woman talking. And then the question was 猫はどこにいますか? 猫はどこにいますか? Neko means cat, right? Doko, where. Imasu is, right? Remember that arimasu is used for for object, right? So it's like there is, there are, where they are. And for people and living things, we use imasu, right? So hito ga imasu, neko ga imasu, hon ga arimasu, ne? Kuruma ga arimasu. All right, so neko wa doko ni imasu ka? Where is the cat? So basically, that's a simple one because you just pay attention and you try to find out where the cat is. So in the picture we have 4 cats, but actually the correct answer is where that one cat that is in the house is actually located, right? So person A says, who is the man, otoko no hito, says, ah, tsukue no shita ni neko ga imasu ne. Like, like it's just doesn't translate. It's just like, oh, you know, like when he realizes that he sees the cat, which turns out that it's not a cat, but he sees it, so it's like a surprise, like, oh, tsukue desk, okay, tsukue desk. So we were talking about the desk at the end of the picture, at the back. Tsukue no shita, under the desk. Neko ga imasu ne. So according to this statement, number 1 would be the answer, right? But when we listen to the woman, she says, are, neko janai desu. Are wa, ne, neko janai desu. That is not a cat. Neko janai desu. What is it? Inu nan desu yo. Inu nan desu yo. It's a dog, right? Inu nan desu, right? I think I remember I mentioned before, but nandis here, the difference, the nuance between inu des and inu nandis is just to emphasize that is actually, you know, like, oh, I understand, right? It might look like a cat, but it's actually a dog. So this, you know, nuance of like, wow, you know, is actually I would say that is in this nandis. And then to complement that nuance, we also have yo, right? So yo. I know, right? That's a dog actually. And then the guy says, chisai desu ne. So is like, you know, the Japanese for surprise, right? Like chisai means small. Desu ne, sorry, not desu yo desu ne, which is also like a surprising ne. So that's why he thought was a cat, because basically the dog is quite a small dog, right? Chisai desu ne. And then the woman says, neko mo imasu yo. We also have a cat. I also have a cat. Hora, asoko, look. Hora is like, look, right there, right? Asoko. And then probably she's pointing when she says that. And then she gives away the location, which is isu no yoko de nete imasu. So very important vocabulary here that if you don't know, you might get it wrong, is isu. Isu. Ne? Tsukue to isu is a must to know vocabulary for enugo. So isu is chair, right? So, but as you see, number 3 is also confusing because the cat is on the chair. So only knowing the vocabulary isu is not enough here. So you need to be able to catch isu no yoko. Yoko. Ne? Neteiru is sleeping. All the cats basically look like they are sleeping. So that's not helpful. But yoko de is the key, right? For you to get the right answer, the correct answer. So isu no yoko de, next to the chair is sleeping, right? So the cat is sleeping right next to the chair. So that means the correct answer is number 4. Okay? So let's listen one more time. This time you can read along.
1番、
男の人と女の人が話しています。猫はどこにいますか？
あ、机の下に猫がいますね。
あれ、猫じゃないんです。犬なんですよ。
へえ、小さいですね。
猫もいますよ。ほら、あそこ。椅子の横で寝ています。猫はどこにいますか？
はい。じゃあ次に進みましょう。はい。Number 2. Please scan the pictures and let's listen to it.
2番、
店の人と女の人が話しています。女の人は何を買いましたか？
いらっしゃいませ。何にしますか？
リンゴを3つ、みかんを5つ、バナナを、バナナは今日はいいわ。
はい。リンゴとみかん合わせて950円です。
女の人は何を買いましたか？
はい。じゃあ、どれ選びますか? Which one would you choose? So let's look at the script and explanation. So first of all, the situation, right? The scenario is 店の人と女の人が話しています。店の人, so we have the person from the store, the clerk, right? The person who works at the store, whatever store that is. But from the picture, we can assume that is a store that sells, a grocery store, most likely, right? That sells vegetables, fruits. And so there is the man that works, well, we know that is a man after we listen to, right? The person that works at the store, a man and a woman are talking. The important question is, 女の人は何を買いましたか? So I think until now we had a lot of questions like in the masu form talking about the future. What will they do? What will she do? What will he do from now? But this is, I think, is the first one that is actually in the past, kakokei. So, 女の人は何を買いましたか? What did the woman buy? 買いました comes from the verb 買う、ね, to buy. 買います、買わない、買って。Okay? So, let's look into the conversation. So, the person from the store, 店の人, says, いらっしゃいませ. Again, welcome. 何にしますか? Meaning, what would you like to buy today, right? What would you like to get today? 何にします。何にする is basically like when you are choosing something, right? これ、あれとか何にする。何にしますか? What would you do? It could also be when you go into a restaurant and you're looking at the menu and you're choosing something and say, so 何にしますか? Meaning, what kind of food or drink would you like to order, right? And then the woman says, リンゴを3つ、みかんを5つ、バナナは今日はいいわ。Right? So this is where it gets a little bit confusing because she's basically, after she was asked, what would you buy? Right? 何にしますか? So ringo is apple, right? So she's getting 3 apples. Mikan can be orange or I think it translates into Mandarin orange. So it's not, because we have orange for orange, right? But mikan is more, the ones that the Mandarin orange. And then she says, banana wa kyou wa ii wa, meaning that when she was about to order the banana, but then she reminded herself perhaps that she either has it already or she doesn't need anymore. So she's like, banana, today, kyou wa ii wa. That ii wa means like, oh, I don't need that ii wa. Right? And this is kind of funny because it's a little bit hard to say, isn't it? There's a lot of wa, right? So banana wa, kyou wa, ii wa, right? But basically it would be like, banana wa, kyou wa, ii wa. Okay, that would be most likely how you would pronounce it, you would read it. But it's a lot of wa. Anyway, and then after that, the man says, hai, like understood, right? So eto here is basically he's thinking, he's summing up the price, right? So he says, ringo to mikan. So the two things that she bought, awasete, together, they are 950 yen. So 950 yen this, and he gives her the price, and that's the end of the interaction, right? Well, I mean, actually, she would go and pay for it. But yes, what is the answer then would be number 3. Okay, again, you might think that is number 2 because of the banana, but it's not, right? So 3 apples, 5 mikans, oranges, without the banana, that is number 3. Okay, so let's listen to it one more time before we move on.
2番、
店の人と女の人が話しています。女の人は 何を買いましたか？
いらっしゃいませ。何にしますか？
リンゴを3つ、みかんを5つ、バナナを、バナナは今日はいいわ。
はい。リンゴとみかん合わせて950円です。
女の人は何を買いましたか？
はい。じゃあ、let's go to the next question. Alright, so 3番 question number 3. Please look at the pictures and let's listen.
3番。
テレビで女の人が話しています。この料理は何を使いますか？こんにちは。3分で料理をの時間です。今日は果物を使ったサラダを作ります。果物は切る前に冷蔵庫に入れて冷たくしておきましょう。色の薄いものと濃いものを両方使うときれいに見えます。ゆで卵やパンを一緒にどうぞ。では作り方です。この料理は何を使いますか？
はい。So which one would you choose? Let's look at the script and the explanation. So the scenario is テレビで女の人が話しています。So there is a woman talking where? On TV. テレビで. So this is most likely a cooking TV show, right? A cooking show. And then the question, important question to keep in mind is この料理は何を使いますか？この this 料理dish, right? Or like the name of the cooking dish or whatever they're cooking. は何を使いますか？ What does it use, right? What will it use in order to prepare, to make this 料理, right? And then we have pictures of basically ingredients, right? So could be fruits, could be vegetables. Number 4, I thought at first there was an avocado, but we have later the confirmation that it's not an avocado, right? And then we have number 3, most likely it's like bread. But anyway, let's look at the conversation. Well, actually, it's not a conversation because it's a one person, right? Script. Which, by the way, if you can leave in the comments for me, which one is easier for you? If it's a question like this, that is not a dialogue, is only one person, just talking the whole time, or actually the dialogue, which you have A and B. I know when the dialogue is too long, it gets complicated. But me, personally, I find the dialogue kind of easier, you know? I don't know, when it's one person talking a lot, sometimes I just zoom out. But yeah, like if you want to share with me which one is actually easier for you, like if it's a one person narration kind of thing like this question, or if you rather find the dialogue questions easier. All right, but here she goes. こんにちは。3分で料理をの時間です。So most likely this 3分で料理を is the name of the program, right? The TV show, the cooking show. So 何々の時間です is like it's time, for example, 料理の時間です it's time for the food. ね、お風呂の時間です it's time for the bath, right? So that's why in this case, this sounds like, oh, it's time for our TV show, cooking within 3 minutes, right? That would be the translation here. And then she says, 今日は today, 果物を fruits, 使った is the past tense of the verb 使う, which is to use, right? 使う、使います、使わない、使って、使った, right? So 果物を使ったsalad. Salada is salad. So a salad that used, but translates as uses, fruits, right? を作ります. So we will make. 作ります. 作ります is the verb 作る, to make, right? So 作る、作ります、作らない、作って. So 今日は 果物を使ったサラダを作ります。Today, we will make a salad using fruits. Then she says, 果物は切る前に冷蔵庫に入れて冷たくしておきましょう。So, 果物は is the fruits. 切る前に、切る is to cut, right? Dictionary form. 前に is before. So, before we cut, we chop the fruits. 冷蔵庫に入れて。So, 入れる is to put, right? 入れる、入れます、入れない、入れて。Inside the fridge. 冷蔵庫 is fridge. So, 入れて, and obviously it's going to get cold. So, 冷たくして、make it cold or chill it, right? 置きましょう。何々て起きる、ね、て起きましょう is like let's keep it, you know, in this case, let's keep it cold, keep it chill, right? So, 果物は切る前に before you actually chop the fruits, make sure that you put in the fridge and let it sit for a while so they are cold. I guess it makes it easier to chop, to cut. Maybe that's why. I'm not a cook, so I'm not sure, but there must be a reason, right? And then she says, 色の薄いものと、ね, so 色 is color. 薄い is like pale, right? Not very bright. Or for example, if we're talking about tea, 薄い tea would be a tea that is not strong, is very watery, or 薄い coffee, ね, 薄いコーヒー。Mono is object, which in this case, fruits, right? We're talking about fruits. And then we have the opposite, to and koi mono. So koi is the opposite of usui, right? It's like a strong color. We're still talking about color, right? Iro no koi mono. So it's tricky again because we don't repeat. You see, Japanese loves to, you know, just take away the subject. But yeah, 色の薄いものと濃いものをね、両方 means both を使うと so to use. So if we use both fruits, もの here means fruits, right? Or weak colors, and fruits with strong colors, right? 濃いもの両方を使うと if we use both of them, actually きれいに見えます。きれい means beautiful. 見える。何々に見える means to see it ね in a way that is beautiful ね。Well, to see it in a certain way. In this case, beautiful. きれいに見えます。ね。So it's an advice if you mix, I guess, visually, right? If you want to make it pretty, the salad, you have like bright colors and, you know, like not so bright colors altogether. So you have a contrast that will make your salad look better. And then she says, ゆで卵や which is boiled eggs. So number 4 is not an avocado, it's a boiled egg. Yeah is like and, okay? パンを一緒にどうぞ. Pan, bread, right? So number 3. 一緒に together, meaning eat with the salad. どうぞ召し上がってください. So basically saying you can also eat it with boiled eggs and bread, right? And then the last phrase she says is では、ね、作り方です. And then she would carry on saying, so let's get into the cooking steps by step, right? So 作り方. 何々方 means the way of, right? So 作り方 is the way of making, right? やり方 is the way of doing. 飲み方 is the way of drinking, right? 食べ方 is the way of eating. So everything kata is the way of. So because it's a cooking show, most likely she would carry on saying, you know, the step-by-step cooking steps, right? But that's the end here. And then we are back to the question, which was, この料理は何を使いますか? So what will we use for this dish? And the answer would be number 2, right? Because we were talking about 果物, fruits. Number 1, they are vegetables, right? So they are yasai. Yasai is the word for vegetables. Number 3, bread is because she mentions that we could have with it the same as 4, right? The egg, but it's just, again, to confuse you. but the right answer was number 2. So let's listen to it one more time and please read along. Let's go.
3番、
テレビで女の人が話しています。この料理は何を使いますか？こんにちは。3分で料理をの時間です。今日は果物を使ったサラダを作ります。果物は切る前に冷蔵庫に入れて冷たくしておきましょう。色の薄いものと濃いものを両方使うときれいに見えます。ゆで卵やパンを一緒にどうぞ。では作り方です。この料理は何を使いますか？
Hi, so that's the end of this video. I hope it was helpful. And on the next video, I will be looking into the script and explanation of the following questions. Okay, so I will be leaving the videos here. If you want to check out of the previous explanations of the script and explanation of the previous questions, and also I'll leave in the description the link for the complete Choukai listening test. So I'll see you in the next video. それではまた。バイバイ。